All right, let's dive right into this explainer. I want to tell you about a 39-year-old guy named Alex. He was crushing intense triathlons, competing in high rocks, running hit circuits, and meticulously tracking every calorie he ate. Yet somehow, he was still gaining a pound or two every single month. He hit 200 pounds, was dealing with this incredibly stubborn belly fat, and had 15 blood biomarkers totally out of range. But then, he uncovered the real biological issue. Fast forward 10 weeks, he's down 23 pounds, and get this, he didn't add a single extra minute of exercise to his schedule.
Today we're mapping out exactly how he turned it all around. Our agenda covers the stubborn fat culprits, morning fat-burning ignition, meals and controlling the spike, evening and the cortisol cut, night and the sleep lock, and finally, your daily fat reset. Let's get right to it. Section 1. The stubborn fat culprits. Stop blaming calories. First things first, we have to understand what is actually blocking weight loss for hardworking professionals. Look, if you've been working your tail off and seeing zero results, you have to hear this. The biological reality? The problem is absolutely not your lack of effort. You're not failing because you skipped a run or had an extra bite of food. You're stuck because two very specific hormones, insulin and cortisol, are literally locking your belly fat in place. Until we manage them, your body is just going to refuse to let that fat go.
Okay, think of insulin like a really strict librarian. Every time you eat, digested food enters your bloodstream as sugar. Those are the incoming books. The librarian's job is to shelve them. It shelves some into your muscles and liver, and some to the brain. But, and here's the kicker, if those shelves are already full, the librarian takes all those extra books, locks them away in your belly fat storage unit, and slams the heavy door shut.
Which brings us to Section 2, Morning Fat Burning Ignition. Start empty. This is the very first habit of your day, and it starts right when you wake up, when your insulin is naturally at its lowest.
So the first thing you need to do is just get outside for a 10 to 15 minute walk. We are not talking about a grueling sprint here, just a comfortable conversational pace. But here's the absolute non-negotiable rule. You've got to do this before you break your overnight fast. Because you're empty, that librarian has no new food to shelf. So to fuel your walk, your body literally has to swing open the doors to your fat storage and burn that stubborn belly fat. It's a total game changer.
And the data on this is just phenomenal. A 6-week trial from the University of Bath proved this exact mechanism. They found that folks who exercised before breakfast burned double the fat compared to those who exercised after. Double! It was the exact same effort, exact same time spent, but simply being in that fasted state torched twice as much fat. It totally sets the metabolic tone for your entire day.
Moving on to Section 3, Meals, Controlling the Spike. Let's see how this builds throughout the day.
Now let's talk about food, because the second you eat, a totally different biological system takes over. And honestly, most people accidentally switch on fat storage mode in the first 60 seconds of eating without even realizing it. If you eat carbs all by themselves on an empty stomach, sugar instantly floods your blood, the librarian panics, insulin spikes dramatically, and bam, you are straight into fat storage mode. To stop this, you have to use what we call the PFC lock every single time you sit down for a meal.
The PFC lock is a strict sequence, but it's super simple. Step 1, protein first. This naturally releases a hormone called GLP-1. Yes, that is the exact same hormone those incredibly expensive weight loss injections mimic, but you're getting a natural dose for free. Step 2, fiber, like some greens. This creates a literal physical net in your gut to slow down absorption. Step 3, carbohydrates. Thanks to that protein and fiber net, the carbs don't flood your system. They just gently trickle into your blood, keeping that insulin librarian nice and calm.
But wait, the meal isn't actually over when you put your fork down. You've got this magical 60-second window right after you eat where you hold immense power over your insulin. If you take just 1 minute to do 10 simple air squats, something incredible happens. By squatting, your massive leg muscles open up secret side doors. They're called glute transporters, and they pull sugar straight out of your bloodstream and into the muscle. You literally bypass the need for insulin altogether.
All right, Section 4, Evening. The cortisol cut. As the day winds down, we run into our second hormone enemy. This is the one responsible for the dreaded cortisol belly. You know, that frustrating, pregnant-looking midsection that sticks around even if your arms and legs are perfectly lean. Cortisol is your stress hormone. It tells your body, hey, stockpile fat securely right on the belly for a rainy day. And let's be real, in our modern world, it is practically always pouring. Between endless emails, traffic, bank alerts, doom scrolling, that constant, low-level stress keeps cortisol perpetually high, trapping fat right in your gut. So, how do we fix it? The crucial move is to actively cut that cortisol before bed. We do this with another simple 10 to 15-minute walk outside right after dinner. This low-intensity movement naturally brings your stress levels down. We definitely don't want a crazy high-intensity evening workout here, because that actually spikes cortisol. This walk is a biological bridge, using gentle movement and the fading evening light to tell your nervous system, okay, it's time to recover.
Now for Section 5, Night, the sleep lock. This is the foundation of our entire explainer, the habit that makes everything else actually work. A randomized controlled trial at the Mayo Clinic cut participants' sleep down to just 4 hours a night for 2 weeks. The result? An 11% spike in toxic organs surrounding visceral fat. This is the dangerous inflammatory stuff, guys. But here is the truly terrifying part. During this massive spike in toxic belly fat, their overall scale weight never changed, not a single pound. The scale lied, while their bodies were literally packing fat around their organs. Crazy, right?
See, a lack of sleep tells your body you're in an unsafe environment, which shoots your cortisol through the roof. At the same time, it chemically scrambles your hunger hormones. It spikes ghrelin, which makes you hungry, and completely tanks leptin, which tells you you're full. In that same study, sleep-deprived folks ate an extra 300 calories a day without even noticing. They were just blindly snacking because their brains were basically screaming for sugar.
To combat this, you have got to secure your sleep lock every single night. That means stopping eating 2 to 3 hours before bed, so your body isn't working on digestion when it should be dropping into deep sleep to clear out cortisol. You also need to kill all screens an hour before sleep. Blue light literally tricks your brain into thinking the sun is still up. Finally, keep your sleep and wake times consistent. Dedicate a non-negotiable 8 to 9 hours in bed to actually get 7 to 8 hours of sleep. Seriously, stop negotiating with your sleep. It is the absolute foundation of your metabolism.
Which brings us to our final part, Section 6, your daily fat reset. Let's pull all this amazing science together into a daily game plan. Look at this timeline. It builds a perfect day. You wake up, do your fasted morning ignition walk. Every meal follows the PFC lock: protein, fiber, carbs. And you cap it off with 60 seconds of air squats. After dinner, a calming cortisol cut walk. Then you end the day protecting your sleep lock. Notice what's beautifully missing here? No 2-hour gym sessions. No extreme calorie cutting. No starving. Just strategic daily hormone management.
And this exact routine is what allowed Alex to successfully drop 23 pounds in just 10 weeks. The guy didn't have a perfect, stress-free life. He's a corporate professional with a long 90-minute commute and kids to take care of. But by simply implementing these 5 habits to optimize his insulin and cortisol, he forced his body to finally let go of the fat it was so desperately hoarding.
So, as we wrap up this explainer, I'll leave you with this question. Are you ready to stop endlessly fighting your body with exhausting workouts and restrictive diets that clearly aren't working? Are you ready to start working with your hormones instead? Because it is time to create the environment your body actually needs to finally let that stubborn fat go.